We now shift our focus to West Asia. Last week, Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General of Hezbollah, reportedly said that an Israeli invasion of southern Lebanon was not a threat. Rather, it was a historic opportunity. And if you thought his statements were nothing more than just rhetoric, you may be mistaken. You see, ever since the tensions between Israel and Hezbollah shot up, the narrative largely has been heavy casualties and damages for Lebanon, while on the contrast, the biggest impact from a Hezbollah point of view is that its rockets reached Tel Aviv, giving the perception basically that Israel will steamroll Hezbollah while sustaining limited damages. But reports suggest that this is not that straightforward, that there is merit in Nasrallah's claim. To understand that, we have to first talk about the war that happened 18 years ago. At the time, Israel's heavily armed Merkava tanks were considered among the best in the world. Yet, in the final days of the war, a constant image that reportedly stood out was the remains of these tanks, either destroyed or on fire. Hezbollah, despite being lightly armed, had managed to hold against Israel's technological superior military and defended Lebanon without conceding any territory. And nearly 2 decades later, the scenario is completely different. Backed by Iran, Hezbollah is considered one of the most, if not the most, heavily armed non-state militia groups in the world. In its arsenal, it has weapons like precision rockets, missiles, and drones that can reportedly hit all parts of Israel. Experts claim that they have more than 150,000 rockets and missiles. Its own leaders say that the group has 100,000 fighters, that too battle-hardened, in conflicts across Syria, fighting alongside the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's troops to eliminate the opposition as well as the Islamic State. Experts believe that Israel is unlikely to underestimate Hezbollah. While Israel may have hit Lebanese cities and villages, killing hundreds of people with drones, rockets, bombs dropped by fighter jets, experts believe Israel can only achieve limited success through aerial attacks, especially given the fact that most of Hezbollah's infrastructure is reportedly underground. And if Israel plans for any kind of ground invasion, military analysts believe Hezbollah will hold an advantage due to its mode of asymmetric warfare, where unconventional strategies and tactics come into play. Let's tell you more. As per analysts, Hezbollah's objective will likely lure IDF into parts of southern Lebanon, where they can strategically set up guerrilla warfare to strike them. And these parts will be the sloped hills and valleys of southern Lebanon, a major challenge for the so-called invader and an advantage for the so-called defender in that scenario, like Hezbollah, that has spent the last 18 years building its ammunition and fortifying its land for such situations. In fact, experts have said that the slopes will give Hezbollah positions a clear view of the approaching army and turn them into a potential killing zone. As per experts, its fighters consist mainly of light infantry trained and set up for stealth as well as mobile operations. Not just that, they are trained in such a manner that small units can take autonomous decisions with an ability to set up a launch site, fire and disperse towards the target in as little as 28 seconds. As per reports, Hezbollah, which is renowned for its caves and hundreds of miles of tunnels, are designed in a manner that fighters hiding inside can quickly fire into the flanks or the rear of advancing forces. Experts have said that while the tunnels of Hamas in Gaza are used mainly for transporting weapons and goods to bypass Israeli blockade, Hezbollah's existence purely for military tactical reasons, and such is the extent of the size of these tunnels that vehicles and even lorries can enter them without any difficulty. Most of these tunnels are also tactically positioned near villages, enabling Hezbollah fighters to fight from inside the tunnel shafts and returning underground to quickly rearm. In fact, last month, a Hezbollah video showed the world a preview of their extensive tunnel work, where fighters could be seen driving large lorries transporting missiles through well-lit underground roads, perhaps a staunch warning to potential invaders. Now, we have spoken about the hilly and village terrain, but even in an urbanized terrain, Hezbollah, according to experts, has its own set of advantages, like taking hit-and-run attacks, where two fighters would turn up on a two-wheeler launch missile on an enemy and flee. Now, Hezbollah also reportedly has a large number of mid-range missiles, long-range missiles, ballistic missiles, drones and mines acquired from Iran. Hezbollah is equipped with rocket-propelled grenade launchers and anti-tank laser missiles. Reportedly, more than 10,000 of their missiles are long-range, precision-guided ones that can actually hit anywhere in Israel, anywhere. Just earlier this week itself, Hezbollah's missile, if you remember, managed to reach Tel Aviv, the heart of Israel. While earlier today, in a statement, Hezbollah said it had launched a barrage of missiles on Israel's Rafale military facilities north of Haifa. Now, these scenarios we mentioned are only applicable if there is a ground invasion by Israel, of course. One that now seems increasingly likely, by the way. We are not the ones saying this. Reports are indicating, as per reports, while addressing troops on the northern Israel border, the Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi, said that the latest airstrikes by Israel were carried out as a precursor for ground operations in Lebanon, and Israel does not seem to be backing down just yet. The US, the UK, the European Union, Arab countries, among others, called for a 21-day ceasefire, remember, across the Israel-Lebanon border at the UN General Assembly in New York. A proposal that was quickly rejected by Israel. There will be no ceasefire in the north. We will continue to fight with all our strength until victory and the safe return of the residents of the north to their homes. That's what Israel's foreign minister, Israel Katz, said on the platform X. Earlier, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office reportedly issued a statement saying that he had not even responded to the truce proposal and that he has instructed the military to keep fighting. As Israel continues to press on, there are growing fears among the world leaders that West Asia is on the brink of a regional war, one echoed by US President Joe Biden, who on Wednesday reportedly warned of the possibility of an all-out war in West Asia due to the Israel-Hezbollah conflict. At this moment, the way things stand, it appears the question is no longer of whether, rather than when will Israel attack Lebanon via a ground invasion. One thing is clear, it will not be straightforward and easy, like we said. It seems Hezbollah has spent decades preparing for this moment. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.